I'm Brandon Vincent. Thank you for coming to my podcast today.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Port City Podcast. Once again, we are back in a revamped studio, and today I have the pleasure of kicking off this podcast with Diana Gerrior. Did I f*** it up?
That's man,
Brandon.
that's a f***ing blooper.
Adam, cut it out. I'm super happy to be doing this again. This is one of my favorite ways to make content because it's so natural. Today on the set, we have Diana Gerrior, and I'm super excited to get into a in-depth conversation with her because her and I both just got back from Miami eXp Con, and it was a absolutely unforgettable experience. And I'm so excited to share some of that with you guys and what was so impactful about that conference. But first, before we get into all of that, Diana, I thought it would be appropriate for you to do a little introduction and maybe just, start off telling us what got you into the business? What got you into real estate?
Well, thank you for having me. Actually, I started back like 20-something about 20 years ago-ish. I started off with my dad, actually. We got licensed together back in 2007, I want to say. And then...
2007,
yeah,
okay,
and I stuck around for like a year, and then, life happens. Like, my boyfriend moved away, so I moved away. Anyways, I came back, and I got relicensed just about 5 years ago now.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So it originally started in 2007.
Yeah, quickly. Like I said, I wasn't around long. I moved away, and then just a few years ago, about 15 years ago, my ex-husband and I, we were flipping houses, and we were doing really well. I really enjoyed it. It created a lot of time space for us, so it was really fun being your own boss, and and obviously the equity coming in, right? So
absolutely.
And then I said, you know what? 5 years ago, I decided to come back in and get licensed because I found myself addicted to looking at MLS every day. I was looking at MLS every day. I wasn't even a realtor. I couldn't stop looking at it. Like it boosted my adrenaline rush to look at it. So anyways, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get relicensed, and I'm going to help others do the same thing.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And you had a lot of probably exposure to real estate from your dad as well.
Yeah.
Right? He's been doing it for how long now?
Well, since about 2007 when we first both got licensed at the same time. But before that, even I guess, you know what? I was a little girl, and he had a wall of keys. So he owned, I don't know, 60 plus apartments.
Right.
And yeah, so
you had lots of exposure to it as well, which is super cool.
He'd get those 3 a.m. calls where, the furnace is down, so he had to go and reboot it himself. So he learned a lot of knowledge and hands-on experience, I guess is the word.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And then so you were flipping homes for quite a bit, and then it's funny, I know a lot of people that look at the MLS all the time, that look at realtor.ca like every single day.
Who aren't realtors.
Who aren't realtors,
it's
exactly. Yeah.
It's exciting, right? So
and I mean, that's kind of a nice thing that the clients have now is they have that kind of index in their hand. Like, think about probably back even 2007, maybe a little bit before. Like, I remember walking through the mall and flipping through what was available for real estate. Remember there was those like things in the center of the mall you'd flip through?
Yes.
And it was showing what was available and like what was listed currently.
It was almost like in the yellow pages. And then there was another like booklet dedicated to real estate. I can't remember what it was called, but that went out of business, unfortunately, right? Obviously with the internet and the boost online. So
no, absolutely.
It was pretty good.
So that's awesome. So then, okay, so that's what got you started, and then so recently, what have you been finding that's helped? What's been your the way you've been getting business? What's been the secret to your mindset and your success so far? Because you've been doing very well, and you've had a very good track record, and I just maybe share maybe a little bit of how you find the industry and what you've been kind of doing for
Well, when I
for business.
Yeah, so when I relicensed, I joined my dad back at a older brokerage, and he didn't have an assistant yet or anything like that, but he was very busy. So I kind of just jumped on there with him, and then I started finding my own clients. So, and then just from having one, the power of one is amazing, really. So one client, my first client, I helped him find a flip property. And he did so well on that. He did so well, and
Nice.
then he referred me to his friend, and then we just kind of been snowballing. So my business has mostly been built on referrals. Honestly,
100%.
that's where I've been so fortunate.
And that is the best way to do it, because then you're working with a lot of similar individuals, right?
Right.
I find very often when a referral comes from one person, it's normally a similar type of individual that's being referred, right? It's like a friend network, and it's like if I got along with this client, then
Yeah.
like who they're referring to is probably going to be somebody that I'm going to get along with very, very well. It's so organic that way too, right?
It is.
Because then you're not working on selling yourself to somebody,
Right.
and that's one thing that I've really come to appreciate in real estate, is finding ways to do this business where we're not going around almost begging for business, right?
No,
Where we're not
no.
going around knocking on doors. It's something I don't door knock. I don't do a lot of cold calling. I don't do a lot of any of that. Like a lot of my business just comes like right from social media and then referrals,
And then
especially in
that's it.
St. John, where we
right.
have a fairly tight knit community here, right? Like
do.
if you do good at something, word can travel fast. Now, the flip side of that is if you do bad at something, then word can travel fast too. It's a double-edged coin. But if you focus on delivering a good service, then,
Exactly. That's
then
it.
it really
Well, and that's what it is, right? And I
helps.
had a meeting with a property manager guy who's just kind of starting out. He left a big company, and now he's branching out, and it seems like he's really focused on just helping the clients make their buildings better. And if he meets a client that doesn't want to do that, they just want to collect the rent, then he might not take them on, but he's really focused on the service. And so we kind of partnered up that way. And that's what I was telling him. Like, I don't care about, obviously we that's our livelihood, the commission, right? But we're not trying to get the commission. It's all about helping a client and helping them gain equity. I've never been in the side where you should overbid $100,000, because I'm not looking to make someone's life hard in 5 years.
Yeah.
I want to help them and help them grow equity, and that's why I even joined the business in the first place.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's pointing people in the right direction, and like you said, not just for the commission.
Right.
So there's that aspect of kind of realizing that the funny part is when you don't focus on the commission and you actually just focus on
Right.
helping the client,
Yes.
that's when you actually end up making more commissions, because you've rewired the goal. Because the
You-
goal's not to get the commission. Because
No.
if that is the goal, you're going to actually miss
You're
that
gonna-
and fail so many times,
Yep.
because the goal needs to be servicing the client.
That's right.
Find ways to help the people that are looking for your service. Find the way to service them to the highest of your capabilities. And then you're going to see the fruits of your labor come.
That's
So
right.
it's like when you rewire it in your brain, and that was something I learned very early on, when I just focused on not how much money can I make, but who can I help. Then it was like then the income started to increase from that mindset.
That's right.
And that's something that is super super impactful, is the mindset. What was the other thing you said at the very end? There was another point I wanted to comment on.
I forget.
Yeah, no, and then you said commission and something else. That's all good. We can.
Yeah.
It was commission, but there was another good point that I wanted to mention there. All good. So then St. John, small knit community. That was the other side of it. St. John made a small knit community, I think.
Right.
And just how word travels fast, and the referrals. The referrals are a great way to get business, and that's how I've tried to grow a lot of my business, is just through the social media. So then kind of putting yourself out there. So it's the difference between a tugboat and a lighthouse, right? So the tugboat, and there's an analogy. Actually, Sean Whalen says this from Lions Not Sheep. I absolutely love this analogy. He may have got it from someone else, but just want to give a little bit of credit there. So he says being a tugboat is like going out and you're finding the ship, and now you're pushing against it, and you're trying to get the ship to get into port and do what you want. And it's like, that's one way to accomplish a goal, but then there's a lighthouse. And a lighthouse is sitting right there on the corner of a cliff,
Right.
on the land, and it's shining its light to protect and to, deter the boats from coming and hitting it. But it doesn't need to move and put all that effort in. It just shines its light, and everybody knows what they need to do. And it's like, if you put yourself out there, then you're shining your light. And it may, sometimes people are like, well, what if people don't like the video I do? Or what if people don't like the way that I talk? It's like, well, that's great, because they weren't going to like you in person either.
Exactly, right? So
put it out there so everybody knows.
And that's just the best way, right?
Put it out
then
there
everybody knows who you are. They know what you're about, and
they can make the decision on if we're the right fits for them.
Exactly.
And I find it's something that's worked really, really well, because then people are comfortable coming in because they're going, hey, I know how Brandon communicates. He's a fast talker. He's kind of right to the point.
Right.
It's like, so then their expectations are already set. And I mean, I've had business call me from some of the YouTube videos I've done where a guy from BC called me, and he wanted me to sell his house here. And it's actually very rare you get listings, like a direct listing call from YouTube. So this was even more incredible. But he called and he was like, hey, I want you to sell my 4-unit on the west side. And then so I started trying to sell myself to him, right? I started trying to tell him how I'm able to do this. And he goes, it was like, he cut me off in like 45 seconds. He goes, Brandon, I already know who you are. I already trust you. I've been watching your videos. I know what you're like. I trust you to do this. Just let me know what documents you need and and what price you think. He goes, like, I just had a baby. I don't have very much time. I hate to cut you off. He goes, but he's like, I just had a baby, and like, this is just a priority to sell this. Let me know. I trust you. Let me know what we need to do.
Just do it.
And it was literally a 2-minute conversation.
Nice.
And that was so mind-blowing to me. So it's like, stuff like that is how I would like to go about the business. I would rather go about it that way than kind of going around and, yeah. I mean, and everybody's got a different, there's 1,000 ways to accomplish the goal. I was going to say to skin the cat, but that's probably not politically correct. Nope. And I said it anyway. So so you don't, everybody's got a different way to do it, right?
That's right.
Referrals has been your big thing.
It has, yeah, it has, and my first client too. Going back to it, it wasn't even a St. Johner. It was somebody from Ontario, and then we just kind of
nice
snowballed from there.
Right, and then you give that service right up front, and that's the best way.
Yeah.
So then recently, in the last, I'd say almost like year and a half now, you came over to eXp.
That's right. I switched over about, actually, I think 1 year ago. 1 year ago and a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that was a big decision. Leaving my dad, and I didn't leave my dad. We still work together. We still list together, and we're definitely teaming up quite a bit. So, but it was a big decision. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to level up my business, and I wanted to grow. And I watched you guys. I watched you and Evan, and I watched you guys going to these conferences and meeting Mike Sherrard, and just all these cool things that you guys were doing. And finally, I bit the bullet, as you know, came over, and I'm happy I did.
Absolutely, yep. Absolutely, and I'm very glad you did too. And I'm very glad you did, because I think you're a genuinely very amazing person, and I it's. This is a industry that can be a little bit weird, and I think it's really cool to surround yourself with like-minded individuals.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm very, very glad that you came over, because we've been having a really good time, and we end up going to eXp Con in Miami. It was 3 weeks ago now, pretty well.
Yeah, I think so.
3 weeks ago.
That's right.
And honestly, I'm still pretty excited from it. Like, you get a different energy when you go to these places and surround yourself with these amazing, like-minded realtors from all over the world. And that is the coolest part, is like, when you get around them, the frequency, like, you all get on like the same frequency. Yep. Like, there was at no point when I was talking to somebody where I was going, this is a clunky conversation. I'm not really enjoying this. It was like everybody I just turn around to and start talking. I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? Da-da-da-da. And then they were like, just like catching up, and they're like, yeah, I do this out of like Wisconsin and da-da-da-da-da. And it's just like, and then like, there was a lot of like very, very impactful conversations I had with people at the right time, and just like sitting next to the right person on a boat made a really great connection. And then now like we've been messing each other since. And this Jacob Sheets from Wisconsin, like, him and I have never met in person, but then we met going out on the Leaders Yacht. And that was incredible. And like just everybody that you do get to meet is really impactful. What did you...
I met him too, right? You introduced me to him, and he's a really nice guy, a great guy actually, right?
Amazing, yeah.
And I've been, ever since I've been following him on social media and vice versa. And what's funny was I was expecting to go to the conference thinking like, I'm going to go, which I did. I did go to a lot of the courses, right? But you almost found it more useful to just be in the hallways, or just talking to somebody, just meeting everybody that people there. One class, I remember that course that you and I sat in on, and
absolutely.
I think we gained more information and knowledge from the man that was sitting next to Brandon. So he was giving us tips, and nice guy. His name was Wade Perry.
Yes, Wade Perry. Yep. That's right.
Yeah,
Wade Perry.
Super guy. Super good guy.
And the funny thing about that is we remember the conversation with Wade Perry somehow more than the class that we were in. Shout out Wade Perry if somehow you're watching this. Maybe I'll send you a clip. And anyway, he was talking. Let's just talk about it because it's actually really cool. So he made mention, he's been doing the business for decades, and very experienced, very knowledgeable, very confident. And he talked about the difference between effective and efficient.
That's right.
And I went, okay, yeah, two important words, elaborate. And he goes, absolutely, I will. And he goes, so then...
Happy to.
Right, so then he's like, there's things you want to do that are client-facing, and you want those to be efficient. Everything on the back end that the clients don't see, you want to be effective. And I'm going, okay, yep, that makes sense.
Reverse it.
What?
I think it reverse it.
Or sorry, everything on the back end you want to be effective.
You want to be effective, right?
Efficient. Sorry, yeah. Everything on the back end. Okay, so let's restart. Jeez. So he said, everything that the clients see, you want to be effective. Everything on the back end, you want to be efficient. And a takeaway from that was like, okay, a lot of people try to be efficient on everything, right? It's like, I need to
I need to go fast. I need to move fast.
I need to go fast, right?
Yeah.
How can I talk to 30 people at once? Let me send a mass message that just says like, hello, like no personalization or anything in there, or sending a mass email out with the same subject line. But then he's like, is that efficient? Yes. But is it effective? No. He goes, so taking the extra time to put somebody's name in, finding the way to make sure that their name is actually in the subject is going to increase your open rate to increase the effectiveness. So it'll increase the effectiveness of that email. And I'm like, okay, handwriting a card, is it efficient? No, but is it effective?
Yes.
Absolutely, yes. Right? So these things that take a little bit more time that actually end up having a larger impact are the right things to do. And I was like, is that ever kind of an impactful way? And I asked him, I was like, how long have you been thinking with that filter? And he said for quite some time now. So I thought that was really sharp. That's a very like cool filter to have
very cool.
Does my next task, does it require efficiency or effectiveness?
Right, that's it. And that's, you know what, you can almost apply that to the Wolfpack a little bit. Is the Wolfpack necessarily efficient as a large group at once? No. Is it effective? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Very effective.
100%.
To say that we're in this group where we rely on each other a little bit, we can help each other. We don't hold hands, but we can certainly help each other all the time. Yeah. That's effective.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's actually trying to create a collaborative culture too, right? The same reason that we're doing this podcast right now, the same reason that, we all get together and then, pitch ideas, and we all kind of create our own events, right? Like
That's right.
It's not broker related. We're creating our own culture here in St. John and in New Brunswick with the Wolfpack. We have quite a bit of agents now too. Like if you actually look at how many agents are in eXp, I mean, I think the Wolfpack represents close to 10% of the New Brunswick eXp agent count. And
so we're growing. We're the fastest growing, right? In eXp, I believe.
Yeah. So the Wolfpack is the fastest growing group. Yeah. And it's been amazing, and it's a global movement too. That's the really cool part. Right. Is the leaders. So like I said at the beginning, when you get around, so there's the eXp culture. And that is amazing. That in itself is amazing.
It
The
is.
eXp culture is very collaborative. It's very innovative. It's very forward thinking. They are, they are years ahead on the technology side. They were making the virtual world,
Right.
The
tools, the training, the
2008.
university is amazing, right? There's so much that they offer, and then that's just eXp alone, and then just coming to the Wolfpack and back to the conference. Like one of my favorite things of the conference was just that the Monday night, the Wolfpack dinner and drinks on a rooftop overlooking the water. That was amazing.
Right.
And we met so many people that we
250
didn't know existed, right? So
agents, 250
Yes.
Wolfpack exclusive
Yes.
agents. We actually had to draw the line and make sure that it was because we filled the rooftop, like it was at capacity. So it was, that was very impressive. That was a very impressive. And the dancing that everybody danced so well. It was absolutely incredible. And just the view from where we were at, that video that we did right there, looking over the water.
That was pretty cool.
That was so
and made some
special.
good friends, met some new people, like you said, on social media and stuff. Like two girls I met, Mandy and Clarissa. I gotta give them a shout out,
Yep.
and Miranda as well. Like they're just some nice people that we met, and they even asked me, like, messaged me and said, like, how are we staying accountable after EXPCon, right? Like
100%. Right,
amazing.
people that are actually caring.
They actually care.
Absolutely.
They actually care.
That is the
That's
impactful part of it, because sometimes you can go, oh, these people live far away. I'll never see them again. I'll never talk to them again.
Right.
And, now this is my 5th EXPCon I've gone to, and I'm going, well, these are actually starting to become friends. These are starting to become people that they were once, at first somebody seen online. I'm going, oh, I like that guy's energy, this or that. And then you end up talking to them, and then you get to see them multiple times. And I'm going, we're actually developing a friendship here. Like, I'm actually becoming friends with people from all over the world at this point right now because of eXp and because of the Wolfpack.
Right. And now, suddenly you have a client who wants to move down to the States. Well, I didn't know anybody in the States before, but now I do. Right.
Yeah.
So we found these partnerships and connections.
And here's another thing that I love too is you find, so then, like you said, you find people that you like, you follow them on social media, and now you're seeing the way that they do business.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing the stuff that they post. So then you're getting ideas from people outside of our marketplace, which helps to then cross-pollinate what we do here in our marketplace too, right? So then we can follow these people where we go, I like the way that they do social media. I like the way that they present themselves here. And then you follow people that you align with, and then it actually, I've tried to curate my social media so that it's a like stimulation of ideas of like business, right? It's like motivational quotes.
Exactly.
And then it's, a lot of real estate agents that I follow, people that I respect from all over the Wolfpack, but you get to pick their brain. And here's another really cool thing is there's so many people with a lot of experience and that have accomplished or been over the hurdle that we're currently facing.
Right.
And then if we can just talk about that with some people, then they're like, oh, it's an easy fix. Try X, Y, or Z. Like, try these or try X. Like, I know the solution. It's X. I was there before. X will help you. Whether it's an app, whether it's like a calendar thing, whether it's a way of thinking, whether it's a mindset shift. But there's always somebody that's like able to help you. New levels come with new devils. So then, finding ways to get over those is. That's why I think it's important to go to these. Somebody might ask, why have I gone to so many eXp cons?
Because you'll at least learn at least one thing. If you can guarantee you'll learn one new thing. If you think you know everything, you'll at least learn one, if not 5 or 10 or infinite.
And if you take that one thing and then you bring it back and you start implementing it, right, and you stay consistent with that thought process, or that becomes a way that you now do business moving forward, then that one thing could have a compounding effect that you can't even comprehend 5 years down the road.
That's right. It's like it's bigger than yourself.
It's like a new habit, perhaps, right? A new habit, or even just coming back with a fresh mindset. Like right now,
and I feel like you're doing that. I feel like you're doing very well with that right now, aren't you?
I feel like it's January. I feel like it's like January 1st. I'm like, this is New Year's, but I'm also realizing that New Year's is coming, and I'm trying to get ahead of it. Going, okay, let's not wait till January 1st. Mike just had a call on this. Going, everybody waits till the New Year to get started. Start now. Right. Everybody else is thinking the same thing. Start now. Get ahead of the curve. Start putting those new habits and thought processes into place now, so that when you come into January, you already got the momentum. You're
That's
rolling.
Right. Even if you're slow starting right now, like I feel like I was like, yeah, you know what? Me too. I'm going to start over. I'm going to start fresh and start this new calendar and start. I'm a little bit slow starting, but I know at least I'm starting. At least I'm doing something.
Absolutely.
So,
and I've even noticed it. You know, you've been posting more. You've been doing a lot more. You can see the motivation. You can see when people get excited, and I think that's something that's even exciting to be part of. Is like you can see even everybody that we went to the conference with. They're all posting more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm seeing all kinds of videos, and it's like people are inspired and fired up, and it's important to get out of your marketplace and then to go to these conferences and get inspired, get motivated, and get around people that are thinking larger or thinking in a way that inspires you, right? And I think that's what's really cool about our group is we have so many inspiring leaders. You know, it's not just people telling us, here's what you should do.
That's right.
Because this is what the book says. It's what I call practitioners, people that are actually practicing what they preach, and they go, here's what's currently working for me, and here's the blueprint how to do it. And it's like they're living proof that it works,
right.
And they just hand you the blueprint.
And that's just the thing, right? Mike Sherrard has literally handed us the blueprint. I've really been dialed into it lately. Like I've been.
The blueprint is in front of everybody.
Right.
In
it's
our
in
group.
front of us. It's in front of us.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've really just been like, you know what? I need to really get on to this. Why are we not doing this more? Everybody should be coming over and jumping into that social media blueprint, right? So
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Social Agent Academy.
It's amazing.
It's
there's so much. I can't. Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
No, it's all good.
There's just so much. Like just even last night, I was scrolling through and my cousin was over and I was like, look at all this stuff. He must be at home for, which I know that he is. He's in his office for like, I think he mentioned he starts off work at like what time? 8 a.m.
4. I think he's at
8 a.m. until like 7 p.m. at night or something like that.
Yeah, he's up at 4 a.m. every morning.
Right. There's just so much content.
Yeah.
For years of content.
He spends, and him and I have had a conversation about it, and I mean, he spends so much time just in the office, in the studio, pumping content out, because that's what he knows as the largest return. So we were just talking about this on this call. 80% of your business is coming from 20% of your efforts, right? So, and then he's going, well, where is that for most people? If you're focused on content, then it's the content. And it's the thing that everybody tries to avoid doing, but it's the thing that when it comes down to it, it's the most important thing to do, because it's putting ourselves out there, it's putting the message out there, and it's finding ways to entertain, bring education, and just find a way to bring value and make a connection with people. And the fact that we have the internet and we can do that for free. It's like free advertising, right? It's free advertising.
Right.
Like normally
you and I are not salesy people. We're not like the salesy type of person, right?
I don't think I am.
So
some people
I don't think you are.
Some people think they're like, oh, you're bred for that. And I'm like, no, I'm not at all. I was in the military for most of my life and like literally like working and sleeping outside. Literally like.
Insane.
Yeah. And, but I always got in trouble for talking. So
I did in school, I got a little bit of trouble for talking. I was, Diana, turn around your seat, or
I was like the class
put your desk out in the hall if you're going to keep it up. Like
I was like the one that would get people laughing. I would always get people giggling.
Yeah.
I was like the one that would like make people laugh and lift the spirits up. I was always kind of that. I was always that energy a little bit. I just wanted to have fun. I like trying to keep things. I think it's actually pretty important to keep things upbeat.
Yep.
Because a lot of stuff in life can be stressful, and you can easily get just worked up about almost anything, right?
You can easily get worked up about anything.
You can easily get worked up about anything, and I try.
It's insane.
And I try just to go, let's stay in my lane. Let's focus on the things that I can control, and
that's right.
And let's not blow things out of proportion.
Brush things off and just keep moving forward.
Let's not blow things out of proportion. How much energy is something worth, right?
Right.
Trying to figure out how much energy is this situation worth. Is it worth me pouring all of this angry emotion into it? Because it's a draining emotion.
Let it go.
Anger is draining.
It is.
And then you hang on to it. And now when you're trying to think, all you can think about is that thing you're angry about. And there's probably other things and there's other things you should be thinking. There's other people. So then, it's like I realize I'm going, hey, it's not fair to my clients for me to take up brain space of just useless things in my head. Like I want to focus on, do we need to think of anything for this deal? Does this client need anything for the offer they're about to put in? Like kind of going through those thoughts. That's where I'll try to take my brain as much as possible. Just going, don't focus on angry, focus on things that are productive.
Right, you can just
sometimes
anybody can just turn it around, right? I said to my daughter a lot. I say that to my daughter all the time. I was sometimes she's a little, upset about something. And I'm like, okay, there's no need to stay upset about it all day long. Don't let it, you get one flat tire. You're not gonna go around and poke all the holes in all the tires. You just turn it around and keep on moving forward, girl.
What's
right?
like the 5 rule? It's like if it's not going to matter in 5 years,
right.
then like you shouldn't be angry for longer than 5 minutes or something.
Yeah,
right?
I think so, something like that.
And it's
right?
like
so
turn
like
around. You can and it's not saying don't have emotion, but it's just choosing to use your emotions a little bit more wisely, I guess. And like that emotional control it's not easy though, because I was always somebody that would just fly off the handle. So,
is that right?
Well, it was just the culture that I was around in the military. Yeah. It was just kind of like, it was almost an asset to fly off the handle very fast, especially when you're in a instructor position and you're looking to correct people as fast as possible. You see a mistake, you need to jump right on it and then bark. Hey, get the dog barking upstairs.
Great dog, by the way.
And what?
Great dog, by the way.
Great dog.
Yeah.
Great dog. Yeah. Anyway, I was kind of rambling there.
That's okay. Sometimes we do that. Like we have a little bit of squirrel brain. Like I think we just in the airport on the way back from Miami. We were brainstorming some ideas to come home with, and then suddenly squirrel. Right? That's the way it goes.
I know, but it's that is also an asset in real estate too, because there's so many times we're changing topics quick, right? You'll be sitting there talking to a client and you're helping somebody make a plan of how you're going to list their house, the days, the strategy that's going to go in there, the pricing strategy, all this stuff, pretty intense, and then you'll leave that, and then immediately you're with somebody else that's got a different demand and a different thing that they need, and now you're switching, or then a lawyer's calling you asking about another deal, what's going on in this situation. So that switching back and forth becomes very useful. It's
very important.
But sometimes we get caught up where, what was I just talking about? No, I'm kidding. Sometimes you get caught up where then you change, and it's just staying in the pocket. But here's what I love about real estate and business in general. It's just like, it's a game of self-improvement. The better that we can get at being ourselves, then the more valuable we become to the marketplace, in my opinion. The more skills that we can learn and improve and sharpen, and the better our communication can be, and the better our energy can be too. Energy is a big one. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people talk about it, but it's like, if you don't have a good energy and you're going around talking to people, you might be saying the right things, but if you say it with the wrong energy,
right,
it's not going to land right.
It doesn't land right.
People are going to be like, yeah, I know what he's saying, but he said it in a weird way that just didn't feel right. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, the energy is super important too. So finding a way, whatever that is, to get your energy right at the start of the day, doing something you like. If it's coffee,
if you win the morning, you win the day, right? I've heard someone say that before.
It's very true. It's very true. And I'm just getting back into my morning workouts now, because it's like, I've been doing a little bit of the afternoon, and I'm like, that's nice for a little afternoon pick me up, but it takes too much time out of the day. So it's like, looking to get everything dialed back in completely. Using Motion on my calendar now, which is like an AI. It shuffles things around. It's actually really cool. It shuffles things around your other priorities.
Is that right? It shuffles around, eh?
Yeah, so then you could have things set, like, it's like, hey, I know I need to make a script for the video that I'm going to film in the next couple of days. So then it said, like, make talking points, and it's kind of got that moving around some of the other things that I'm doing. And then it's like, think of the hooks and all this stuff. So it's like actually setting time blocks for me to be able to succeed at the goal that I'm looking to do.
Right, so if you're not using AI, you're going to get left behind. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's AI is a tool. It's a tool. You want to be able to use it. I know some people are like,
it's not going to replace us. It's just, it's going to help us.
Yeah, it'll replace some things eventually. It's already replacing some jobs, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's anything though. It's the same as when the tractor was made. There was farmers that were like, I'm not going to use a tractor that's going to wreck the dirt. And it's like, now everybody's got a tractor, or whatever. Like, it's things just happen. How long have we been? You need to be out of here at what time?
11:15.
Okay. Well, how about this? Let's end on this note. Diana, are you ready to land this plane?
Ready to land this plane.
Okay. All right. Let's end on this note. If there was anybody on the fence, right now wondering about eXp, wondering what it's like with the Wolfpack, What would you say? How's the culture? How's everything been since you've come over? Be honest, please. Be completely honest.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I mean, it was moving over it was a fairly smooth transition. There's a little bit of bumps here and there. Like anything, right? You're learning new things. But overall, the culture is amazing here. I'm meeting so many more new people. I'm making connections, and the tools and the learning are just, you can't beat them. You really can't, and that's the most valuable thing, I think, and that's what we come over here for. And even just this afternoon, I'm going to meet the Wolfpack ladies, and we're gonna have a little lunch and talk about business and just find ways to help each other. And where else? What other brokerage is going to give that? And not to ever just diss anybody else or any other brokerage, but where else can you find that?
I don't know, but I know this. Coming from a military background, having a group of people around me is something that I value tremendously. A type of camaraderie. I was going to say camaraderie. That's not a word. So a type of camaraderie is super important to me. And I think that we've been finding it here in our group, which is actually super, super impressive. It's, although we're all running our own business, we are all so collaborative, and it's actually really nice just to know that if, I need to make a phone call, talk to somebody, ask some questions, pick some people's brains, like it's going to be a non-judgmental conversation that we're going to have, that I'm not worried about, somebody going, oh, he didn't know this or that. Like, it's actually, like, it's super nice. It's just a very, very nice way to go about this business.
It is. It's very warm and open, and that's what it is. And we even have we were in with Moncton too. Like, we're in that chat group with the Moncton people. So anybody has a question, there's so many of us there to answer. So if anybody has a question, it's just easy, right? And it's nice.
And the calls, like you said, the learning.
There's
we just had a call yesterday. And Mike Sherrard was running it. And I mean, he cuts through the BS. He cuts through the noise. He's just like, ladies and gentlemen, he's like, he's like, one thing that I hate is when people are giving themselves excuses as to why they're not achieving. Somebody could say something like, oh, I want to do good, but I have ADD. And it's like, he's like, we
all have ADD.
Right. It's like, he's like, He's like, a lot of people say that now because a lot of people feel like they can't focus, right? Just like we were talking about earlier. And I think a little bit of that's from social media. But it's just like, find ways to adapt. Find, it's like we need to take accountability for ourselves and for our own business. And most people aren't going to tell you that. Most people are going to tell you, oh, it's okay. If you try a little harder, everything will be all right. Don't worry. But it's like, no, take accountability. Show me your calendar. Show me your calendar. Pull your calendar up right now. If you're not hitting the goals that you want to this year, show me your calendar. Do you have specific activities marked down? They're going to help you get to that goal. And if you don't, well, let's start there. There's probably a reason that, if you don't have actual things written down on the calendar. And I love that about Mike, is he cuts through the noise, makes it full accountability so that people need to take action. There's no room for just emotional coddling of it's going to be okay. Because at the end of the day, he's like, some people might want that, but it's not what you need. What you need is the real truth. And the reason that he's saying it is because he's like, I want you guys to all actually do good. I want you guys to succeed. And I'm going to tell you the things that aren't easy to hear so that you're either going to do it or you're going to adapt to be able to do it. So it's
I love that.
right. And from the military, I'm going, that's what I need. Yeah. Yes. More. I can sit there and listen to that all day. Finn's losing it. That's awesome.
That's okay. Yeah, no, that's right. You know what? I feel the same way. Even, off topic a little bit, but not the kids in school. Their spelling tests. Why are all the words right? They're not right. You know what I mean? Why are we not telling them that something is wrong?
Right.
Because they want to boost their confidence. I'm all for that, but it's I am one of those people who I learned this way. That's my parents were this way. By the way, I have great parents, but they something's wrong. Diana, fix it. Smarten up.
Yeah.
Why are we not telling them that, right? And I am that type who will. So yeah. And I used to coach basketball, and I used to do the same thing. I would coach them. I'm sorry, it's wrong. You didn't get it in. Keep going. Do run your lap. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah. No, that is important because it's It's how people learn.
Right. And that's, like I said, it's the same thing. It's like, no, I need that. I need that not everybody can have a trophy, right?
That's just it. Yeah, that's not a good thing. That everybody
it's
gets
not
a
a good
trophy.
thing.
That's not a good thing because it sets an unrealistic expectation for
Right.
the workforce, because that's not how the workforce works. That's not how
Right.
any of real life works.
Right.
Nobody gives you a trophy
No.
just for trying.
Exactly.
Trying is not enough. You need to make
Exactly.
sure that you are actually finding a way to provide some value. You can't just open up a business and say, well, I'm trying. Like, it's like, you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to overcome.
Your boss isn't going to be happy that you just tried, and your clients
Nobody.
aren't going to be happy that you tried, but you didn't do it. Right. So
right.
I mean,
there's trying, and then there's setting yourself up for the highest chance of success possible.
Right.
Right. And there's certain things that
and
you
we
can do.
owe it to our clients to really buckle down and just do the work.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
We're in this service industry for a reason. So
100%.
So let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's end it right
do it.
there. That was good.